In today's video, we are building a custom home for our trash cans. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. OMG! We all have this messy spot in the yard where leaves always get stuck. In my case, it's that gap behind the bins. First things first, I managed to get some wood for free. It turned out to be a bit more than I expected, but hey, at least it will keep warm in the winter. And with the rest of it, we are going to build a trash bin house. The length is a perfect fit. I'm drilling the timber and cutting the trees for the adjustable feet. If the beam isn't sitting directly on the ground, it will prevent rot and last longer. We need at least one long beam and a whole bunch of boards. Let's go and check out the sawmill. Let's cut the beam to the right length. We're adjusting the height until it's perfectly level and then we will screw it tight. Re-drilling and countersinking. And sink the screws until they are flush with the surface. We figure out how wide the openings need to be. We will find a middle ground between the small and the large bins. And just like that, I have made my first rookie mistake this day, because the large bins actually belongs to the left. The ground slopes away from the garage, meaning the left side is lower and offer more height for the bins. Fix the mistake right away. The cross beams are attached to the fans. Looking good so far. Mishka is doing the inspection. He approves. And the bins are super easy to access now. It's still open without doors or a top cover. Now it's time to build them. Cutting smaller beams to size using various measurements means we will have zero waste. Everything remaining will be perfect firewood for the winter. Let's get all the slats cut. If you want to know how much this whole project cost, make sure to watch until the end of the video. I'm trying to keep the frames perfectly square, even though the opening itself is out of square. Checking the diagonals is a quick and easy way to make sure it's square. And it's a match! We need to do this 4 times for the doors and 4 times for the lids. To move on with the lids, we need to continue building the upper section. We are adding 2 boards to reach the final dimension. Drop a comment below with your guess on the total cost of this project. The screws definitely didn't break the bank. The rest of the beam serves as an extra reinforcement. You have probably noticed that the enclosure is deeper than it needs to be. If you want to find out why, make sure to subscribe to the channel. To get a better fit for the hinge, I'm routing out a small radius. Doing this at noon on Sunday is definitely a lot of fun for the neighbors. Of course, our perfect frames don't fit in the space, so we have to aid them up and center them. Once the fit is right, we will lock them in. The frame is slightly flexed to fit, but the fit is spot on. Now by adding the boards, we are locking it in this position. By working from the outside toward the center, we only need to customize one board at the end. Following this process ensures a perfect fit for every single lid. How would you guys do it? Let me know in the comments. You might have been spotted there is no spacing between the boards. That's because they have a high moisture content and will shrink a lot during the drying process. It opens and closes perfectly. What more could you ask for? A like maybe? If you are still watching at this point, you're either fast asleep or you really like the video. Not asleep yet? Then go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything and helps a lot. While you're busy hunting down that subscribe button, I'm going to build the 4 remaining frames. Set it up, plug it in, boards on, and the quick function check. No. Except for the smallest lid, which we have to wait before moving on. And the biggest, heaviest lid needs a weight in too before it is attached. Stay with me to find out the reason behind it. Time for a quick bit of exercise. Same process for the doors. Frame in, align, boards on, hinges on, and test the movement. Even if you don't like this video, give it a thumb up anyway. No one will know, and it will annoy even more people by popping up in their feed. By the way, there was no blueprint for this one. It was all fully improvised. Every decision was made right there on the spot during assembly. You've got to see it once more, but I will make it in quick with a fast forward. I'm temporarily screwing the outer boards to the main frame. Without this, the doors will just hang down, unlike the lids. Once the hinges are on, I will take these screws out and it will work like a charm. It's not exactly a beauty, but it's definitely one of a kind. It's finally time to cut these wonky boards down to a size and make them all even. There's a cold front coming in, so we need to install the roofing felt as soon as possible. Heat the felt to fold it over the edges, then give it a few temporary staples. As soon as the temperature drops, you can't install this stuff anymore. That's why we are out here taking advantage of this lovely little breeze. The staples are only temporary, so we are fitting some cloud nails as a permanent fix. I actually feel really sorry for you. I only have to film and edit this video. You are the one who actually have to watch it. I'm so sorry. The management is here to oversee the work again. Tough crowd. Made it just in time. Now that it's snowing, we are heading inside to keep going. There are a few online calculators for gas springs. It's crucial to understand where the gas cylinders will be mounted. These measurements are essential for us. Why does this alignment matter so much? If the gas strut is angled too far up from the parallel line, it constantly tries to open, which is not what we want. We have to cry. By placing the fixed pivot point higher and the moving end lower, the strut exerts a bit of downward force, ensuring the lid stays shut. This means the lid starts by closing on its own, then enters a zero gravity zone, and finally moves into a range where it opens all by itself. Of course, the online calculators won't tell us the exact spec because they won't sell you their expensive one. But if you feed the dimensions into an AI, you can get the required newtons using a simple formula. For the small lid, that's 300 to 350 newtons, meaning 150 to 175 per strut. For the large one, it's 400 newtons or 200 per strut. Just use the lang and the newtons to find them for a fraction of the costs online. In the meantime, let's get those mounting points drilled and ready. The parts have arrived, but man, it's really windy out there today. While demonstrating the installation, I actually upgrading the struts. It turns out 300 newtons in total is way too weak for this lid. The calculation called it for 300 to 350 newtons. Since 175 newton struts weren't available, I'm glad I picked up both 200s and 150s to play around with. Based on the simulation's measurements, I'm using a Forstner bit to drill out the mounting holes.
Bei der Macht von Grayskull!
We are mounting the cylinder to the bracket and then attaching the bracket to the beam, making sure the screw head is hidden inside the hole we are drilled earlier. Got a better way to install these gas struts? Drop a comment below and share your ideas. Thank you. Even if they aren't open together at the same time, we want them all at the same height. Where you mount the fully extended cylinder is also where the stop defines the maximum height. The 200 Newton strut is already lifting better than the two 150s. That's partly because the 200 is warmer while the 150s are cold, which can easily cause them to lose 10% of the force. Now we are going to remove the 150 Newton strut and install it on the other lid. That gives us a total of 350 Newtons, which matches the 175 Newtons per strut we originally calculated. Zero gravity, self-closing, and it opens all by itself exactly how it should be. Perfect! Let's finish up the second side. As you can see, the performance is a huge improvement over the previous setup. Check out the difference those extra 15 Newtons make. Naturally, the internal pressure will increase during the summer months. But see the difference? I'm attaching a bungee to the top, so when I lift the main cover, the bin lid comes right up with it. It's a lid opening lid. How cool is that? With the lid closed, look how tight the clearance is between the fixing mount and the lid's edge. It sits just below the line to the moving mount, which is exactly what we want. To make sure the doors stay closed even in the wind, I'm adding a few magnets. Well, position them for the best fit and screw them in place. Voila, perfect. For sure we need some handle to handle. Now the whole build is finally come together. Once spring arrives, this project is ready for some color. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the build, please leave a comment, hit the like button and subscribe. Take care, God bless.